Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and today we've got the 2021 Toyota Venza. I like this car. It's a little different, resurrecting a nameplate for Toyota that they haven't used in half a decade or so, to come out with a hybrid-only crossover. But what a lot of people don't realize about the Venza is it's a push from Toyota to make more premium cars. We're going to see that a lot on the inside. Just take a look at the outside as well. Got nice flowing looks. It's mature, but somewhat elegant as well. Doesn't exactly turn heads. It can kind of fall into the crossover mush. But you do have this neat light bar that goes all the way across the back. Some pretty cool character lines. Dual exhausts in the rear, lots of chrome. It slots in exterior size-wise between the RAV4 and the Highlander, but it's a bit smaller inside than the RAV4, so a little bit less cargo volume and passenger volume. We do have a compact spare in there, which we like to see. JBL subwoofer, a decent amount of usable space. Seats don't fold down from right here, which is a little unfortunate, but you can reach up, push them down, and then you get quite a flat load surface. You can actually get quite a good amount in there. People or dogs or gear. Of course, the liftgate is powered. Into the back, 60-40 split rear seats that are very easy to fold up. Decent amount of room back here for a 5'10" adult. Seats recline, get pretty comfortable, and you already can start to see some of the luxury elements. This nice, really, I cannot stress to you all enough how nice this leather feels. This is premium grade. This part is a little, actually no, this part's nice too. There's some parts like on the seats, this feels a little bit more kind of durable, almost sport, it might even be fake leather type, but right here, this feels really good and it looks good. You got this nice stitching, this kind of cool material here. This is not a RAV4 inside. This is much nicer. You've got dual USB-A ports down there, air vents, very nice center armrests, hard cup holders, some lights. Overall, a good place to be back here. Coming into the front, you can see again a very nice array of materials. I know I was talking about it back there, but I found myself driving around in this car and almost massaging the center console. If there's anything that sticks out to you in this Venza, it's two things. One, how nice the center console feels, and two, this neat trick sunroof. So if we fire up the car, you can see right now, it's going to be a little tough to tell today because it's cloudy and gray out anyway, but right now, the sunroof is shaded, and when I click this button, it's clear. So what I'll do is I'll go under some trees so you guys can kind of see, but it goes, and by a click of a button, it sort of just turns everything into a white mush. And of course you can close up the normal shade as well as you would with a standard panoramic sunroof. Looking around the rest of the front, pretty decent layout. I do not care for how many capacitive buttons they put in here. I know they wanted it to look nice, but volume adjustment should always be a knob. I kind of feel that way about fan and temp as well, but that's not quite as big of a deal. They tried so hard to make everything symmetrical, but then yet plopped the power button right here in an unsymmetric part. They could have hit it up here somewhere nice and made this nice and symmetrical, but you do have wireless device charging way in there, some drive modes, electronic parking brake, big shifter, which again, I think they could have done something a little bit more sleek and elegant rather than just this big old thing to grab. And then the heated and cooled seats are actually recessed here, so you can kind of slide this up and back, and then you got your heated and cooled seats. Pull it open. This is kind of strange. It's got like mini, I don't even really know exactly what this is for. I think you can put these in here to make the cup holders a little less deep. But I don't know what this tray is for other than maybe storing some random things. And then you can pick that up and you got a pretty big compartment in there with a 12-volt outlet. You got a glove box over there, some dome lights. Pretty standard Toyota Infotainment System. I'm not a big fan of it. I think it could look better and work better, and it's a little far away in this vehicle. Let's get on the road. As I said, all Venzas are powered by a gasoline-electric hybrid powertrain, and this being one of Toyota's newer hybrids, it works really well. You can see right now I'm doing all this driving on EV only. I don't have it in EV mode, I've just got it in eco mode, actually. And it'll get up to about 25 or so with moderate throttle, all on electric. I feel similarly to this vehicle as I did with the Toyota Sienna minivan. It's kind of neat to just have them put all their eggs in the hybrid basket, have it get better fuel economy across the board, and that brings down the cost for hybrid vehicles and repairs for other models. So the more hybrids they make, the less it costs them to do all of them. And unlike the Lexus RX that we had a few weeks ago, this powertrain is more well-tuned for daily driving. All the transitions between electric and gas are smooth, and mileage seems to be quite optimistic. We did take this Venza on our real-world highway fuel economy test. Check the links in the description for the link to that, as well as a review of the 9-speaker JBL audio system, which is quite good as well. And this did much better than many of the other hybrids we've tested recently on the highway. In all sorts of mixed driving, including a good amount of highway driving, some city, I don't know exactly how many miles, but we've been averaging 34 all across the board, which is quite good for a vehicle of this size. I really don't suspect that many Venza owners are going to be flogging their crossover hybrid, but just in case, Toyota gives you a sport mode, you throw it into S and the shifter, get on it a bit. It has plenty of pull for daily driving. Obviously the roads are wet, but this thing uses its all-wheel drive nicely to carry itself around. The engine doesn't sound so terribly overtaxed or worked when you're getting on it hard. In fact, this whole vehicle feels like a borderline luxury car in here. For those of you familiar with Toyota's lineup for a while now, the easiest way to think of the Venza compared to the RAV4, this is like an Avalon, whereas the RAV4 is more like a Camry. Now, my mindset has been a bit framed this week by the recent purchase of our Tesla Model Y. The two cars are actually very similar. They're similarly sized, and they're both obviously a little bit eco-focused while still having a usable aspect to them, both being technically compact to mid-size crossovers. And the Venza makes a good argument for itself for a single vehicle household for someone that's going to do a lot of driving. You need to be putting on 500 plus mile weeks, you need to be doing a lot of driving in a day. Even road trips, this thing's going to do quite well because it's very nice to drive, the suspension's good, it's quiet, it's comfortable, and it gets decent mileage. But if you're not doing a lot of driving, or if this isn't your primary vehicle in the household, it's hard to argue that an electric vehicle wouldn't serve you better. Now, I get it. Some people aren't ready to commit to the electric vehicle lifestyle, whether it be infrastructure, their house, they just don't want to change their habits. I totally get that. That's fine. But if you've been considering it, you have to realize this Venza costs $43,100. Our Tesla Model Y that we just bought costs $43,120. We'll get back to that in a second, but let's get a quick moment of highway driving here in the Venza. Adaptive cruise control, fairly rudimentary active lane keep assist. If you want to see more of the Venza on the highway, check the link in the description for our highway fuel economy test. Like I said, it's a plenty good highway trip vehicle. But if you're not doing a lot of highway driving, then that gets back to the argument of the electric vehicle. Not only does Tesla now have a $43,000 Model Y, but Volkswagen is coming out with their ID4 crossover. Chevrolet has been teasing the Bolt crossover for a while now. That'll be coming out soon. So there are a lot of options that you could do all of your daily driving in and charge at home, spend less on gas, have less maintenance, and depending on how you look at it, be better for the environment. So while the Venza is a new model, I see it fitting an old guard sort of buyer. Again, someone who would have bought an Avalon maybe 5 or 6 years ago. They still could, but maybe they want to sit up higher, maybe they want the all-wheel drive, maybe they just like having a crossover, they want that space. So for the type of person who wants to stick to the old tried and true ways, here's the Venza for them, and I'm sure it'll exist like this, sell decently well for probably a decade or so. But the market is going electric, and if you were willing to pony up well over $40,000 for this Venza, it would be worth considering if an electric vehicle would work for your life. Because realistically, if not, go buy yourself a late 2000s Toyota Highlander with 100,000 miles on it. It's going to be so much cheaper, better for the environment, and probably just as reliable. So, the Toyota Venza. Neat new car. I liked having it around. Definitely another niche filled by Toyota. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more on the Venza, check the links in the description for our other videos. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.